All right, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, whichever time of the day this message finds you. The name of this channel is The African Times, and I'm Thomas. Got a little video here, uh, Brother Al Sharpton, proving that him, Trump, are together. Check it out. All right, check this out.
Recently, President Trump was in Atlanta, and it went viral. A young lady from Clark Atlanta University steps up in a Chick-fil-A and says, "I don't care what the media is saying. A lot of black people are with you." Uh, what did that make you feel? I mean, the question becomes with him, why? When he was never with us. Wow. Donald Trump comes from New York, as I do. Right. And Donald Trump and his father in the 70s was sued by the Justice Department for discrimination in their buildings. He wouldn't let blacks rent in their houses in the 70s. Wow. And we marched for them in the 80s. And then Don King and him started doing fights together. Don kind of tried to cool all of us out. We were friendly with Don. Trump became a Democrat, gave to some of the black candidates. So we kind of like gave him a second chance.
Okay. Did you hear that? Okay. All right. So, what you're talking about here, you heard him. He said, well, Donald Trump, he was discriminating against black people. I don't know if you really understand what that means. He's a man who has some housing for people to rent. And this may be high-end housing, or it may be low-end housing, or in the middle. It doesn't matter, but he was unwilling to allow black people to rent there. How many times does it take before you understand that's clearly a person who has something against a black person? That's not a money issue. If they have the money to rent the place, what difference does it make what the color is? Now, these are the same things. I don't even like repeating this stuff because this is the same thing that we say over and over again. It's a clear indication he didn't like black people. For whatever reason, you can go further and say, okay, you don't like us, you don't know me, I never met you, we never been out, so you just don't like the way I look, and you're going to take action against people that look like me. But he went further. I'm talking about Al Sharpton now. Al Sharpton went further and said, well, so we marched against him. Okay, we marched against him, meaning some black people, Al Sharpton and others, showed an act of protest against that behavior, against the behavior of Donald Trump and his father. But then, listen to the switch. This is why I tell you they're all together, all of them. Even Sharpton, who calls himself a preacher, and all the rest of the people who are among this political class, this people with money. Look at Sharpton. Sharpton is still on MSNBC. They're paying him a lot of money to be on there, and they wouldn't put him on TV if they felt he was a threat. He's not a threat. And no, it's not, well, he's a threat only for the Republicans. No, because here's what he said. This will prove to you. No threat to the Republicans. He said Donald Trump, they protested against him. But then Don King is a famous fight promoter, which what? Promoting a fight. Don King makes money, the fighter makes money, but who makes the most of the money? You think it's the fighter? You think it's Don King? No, it's the people who own the television, the people who own the media, and those people, they don't look like you and me. They look like Donald Trump. And he said Donald Trump and Don King got together. Don King wanted to partner with Trump to make some money on a fight. So Sharpton said him and others, they were friends with Don King, not Donald Trump, Don King. So Don King talked to them. Hey man, I want to make some money with this dude. Now, the part he's not saying that you can make some reasonable assumptions about, and I'm talking about now again Al Sharpton, is that okay? Well, yeah, we're friends with Don. Well, Don, this dude discriminated against everybody and wouldn't let black people in the house. Yeah, but Al, I want to make some money with this dude. Look, we're going to make a grip of money. I'll tear y'all off. Y'all back up off this dude. Everybody make a little money and it's all good. Now, Al Sharpton didn't say that, but what he said, they were friends with Don, and so they talked with Don, and then, the key, he said, Donald Trump either became a Democrat or was a Democrat or whatever. And don't get caught up in that because it doesn't matter. They're all the same. Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. They're all the same. He said Donald Trump became a Democrat or was a Democrat, but then he said Donald Trump gave money to the Democratic candidates. And so they backed up off Donald Trump back then. They backed up off of him. Now listen, now let me ask you something. If I do something wrong to your child because your child has dark skin and your child is black, if I give you some money, is that okay? Now it's okay to continue to do that to your child? Or now because you gave me some money, me and you, we cool now, even though you did that to my child? Now, the reason you have to understand this, you have to bring this down back to the children. It's very important to understand because that is what they did. When they said they stopped the discrimination, or they eased up off of Donald Trump, I shouldn't say stop the discrimination. What I mean is they stopped the protests against Donald Trump's discrimination. They eased up off of him so Donald Trump and Don King can make some money together, and Donald Trump gave them money. So, in other words, here, take this money and then be quiet. Let me do what I'm doing. Don't bother me anymore. I discriminate against people, and it's families, because people who are gonna want to rent, if they don't have a family, one day they will. If they do have a family, you're preventing them, the wife, the children, and all of them from moving in. But Donald Trump, here, let me give you some money. And Al Sharpton saying, yeah, we took the money. And as a result of taking the money, under the guise of Democratic Party, we backed up off of him. Now that's an example of the greater picture. That's the American political system. What? Political contribution. That's what Donald Trump gave them, a political contribution. And as a result of that, they left him alone and they said, we're going to turn a blind eye to the discrimination. Now you want to jump up and say that now you speaking against him like Donald Trump is some change. Well, he changed parties. It didn't matter what party it is. They're all rich people, and they're all dealing with money and gain for themselves, not for the people, not for the people. And it's clear Al Sharpton is admitting openly that they were willing to take a payment to excuse their ethical and moral standards. Now, right now, Donald Trump is a Republican. He's talking stuff against him on MSNBC. I think that's his program. He's running his mouth against him. But is he really? Because if Donald Trump pays them some money behind the scenes, ease up on me. Or, hey man, look, say these things in this way. Now, this isn't far fetched. There's a video going around with RFK where he's on the phone. They say his son leaked the private phone conversation between him and Donald Trump. The person running as president of, I think, under the Democratic Party, maybe independent, it doesn't really matter. They're all the same. But whatever it is, it's opposed to Donald Trump. He's on the phone with Donald Trump, and it appears, it sounds like the context is that Donald Trump is saying, man, you spoke out against the uh, vaccines, and okay, I'm with some of that, so might be. He says it's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for me, and the assumption being reported by the people is that what he's talking about is making RFK a part of his cabinet over some area, maybe the area that's dealing with the vaccines, and in exchange for that type of working together, then RFK will have to, do something, some You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Hey, look, okay, maybe you ease up off me, or it's good, keep running, even though they know they're not going to let him be the president. So now, oh, but the way this thing works, maybe you could take some votes away, or you can discourage some people from voting for this group, and then they'll vote for me, or they won't vote for me, but at least they won't be voting for the Kamala. All working together, all working together. It's political theater. They're all acting. Now, there's a picture. I'm going to try to find it. I just saw it. I think I made a copy of it. I'm going to try to find it. In fact, let's see if I can find it now. And I'll pull it up and show you that these people, they're all together. Oh, yeah, here it is right here. Uh, yeah, so hold on. Let me put it up. Hold on one second. Okay, so you can see the picture there. They're together. They're together. Now, people say, oh, that doesn't mean anything. People got to get together. You got to talk to your enemies. No. If you connect the dots, the video that I just showed you, what he said in the video is that one man, he became a Democrat and that he contributed to the Democratic Party. Now all of a sudden he's a Republican, and you see the picture, y'all hand in hand, cool, we happy, we closed it. A person who's against me who practices discriminatory practices against me, other people that look like me, and trust me, if he did that in his own apartment building or some houses, he's doing that with everything. You remember what he said about them innocent boys? He said they basically need to be killed. I'm talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump said that those boys who were innocent in New York years ago, who were supposed to have raped some woman or done something. They didn't even do it. That brother said they should be killed. Now, I don't know about you, but just now, has he said anything about Sonia Massey? I couldn't find anything where he said anything about that. If y'all saw that, put it in the comments, and also put in the comments if you understand what's really happened. Tell me what you think, because we are having these conversations and we're talking about this stuff online through YouTube and all of that. But the reality is, these people are operating with their own agenda. They don't care about you, your family, your children, the everyday people that are going through living in this life, struggling to survive day after day, week after week, and month after month. They don't care about that. Al Sharpton, too, he's with them. And the other one, the guy interviewing him, I think he's a preacher. And all the rest of these people who just continuing in their lifetime to make money and keep going to the next generation, try to keep it going for them and their people, and just put on a good show as if they're really fighting for you and me and people that look like us. The real good people who generally don't want any problems, just want to be able to have some peace and have a good time. They're having their good time now because they're being given the money to do it, as long as they put forth this theater, this show in front of us to keep us following along with the program. And Sharpton and all the rest of the preachers, that whole thing is just designed to keep you, and we all know it, but to keep you calm while you're being abused, to keep you accepting the abuse as it continues, day in, day out, every 4 years, 4 years. That's what it's for. Okay, look, let me know what you think in the comments. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Uh, do that, because now I'm trying to determine as we move forward, are there really efforts by people to prevent uh, views like the one I take and present, and there are others, but people who really want to tell the truth about what's happening to us as people. I'm trying to see if that kind of information, those videos, that content is being suppressed. And one of the ways that we can tell is, if you make your comments, a bunch of y'all comments, if you know people who've been watching, and say, yeah, I know some people that watch me. I know 3, 4, 5 people watching, 6, 7, 8 people, whatever. Or nobody's watching. I'm the only one. Everybody I talk to, they don't know about you. If that's the case, then you need to let them know, because we have to get our children to understand the truth of what's happening. Okay? And one of the ways to do that is to make sure they get exposed to viewpoints that are not the viewpoints of the mainstream media, which is controlled by very few people. And those people come together, just like Al Sharpton said. Al Sharpton said and Don King and Donald Trump and all the other people that he gave the money to, they work together. They talk, they communicate. They're not enemies. They're not against each other. Even when they say those bad things, they're not against each other. They go out and have lunch, man, with, hey, okay? All right, talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Uhuru, uhuru, uhuru.